on the back end of this game. Houston's defense so stout after really sleepwalking, not really having a whole lot of energy to them that last month of the season. What did you see from that group specifically?
Yeah, not even just the last month, Joe. That team started 5-1 and finished 5-6. So there were a lot of questions. I think that's why a lot of us thought the Chargers, given the way they had played down the stretch, had a really good chance to win this game. But in terms of the defense, and B-Mac talked about it before the break, they balled out. They showed up in the biggest moment. And it just goes to show, if you draft the right players, you can win games when it matters most. Kalen Bullock, the safety, going back to Derek Stingley Jr. a few years ago. Kamari Lassiter played well tonight. He's played well throughout the season out of Georgia. Last year's draft class, some guy named Will Anderson. By the way, if you're the Chargers, block Will Anderson. Don't leave him on block to destroy your quarterback. And the other thing I'll point to is this. It feels like both teams hopped into a time machine. It feels like the Chargers are charging in the worst way possible, in the ways that we saw a few years ago when they blew that lead in Jacksonville in the playoffs. And it feels like C.J. Stroud not only went back to 2023, but maybe 2022. The way he was running the ball, I thought he was Ohio State playing Georgia in that playoff game. So this is exactly where you want to be if you're the Texans, hitting on all cylinders as you get to the next round of the playoffs.
You know, Ryan, that's a real significant point with C.J. because throughout the entire season, number one, the expectations were super high because of how good he was his rookie year. And he kind of flatlined in terms of reaching those expectations. But tonight, he got off to a rocky plays. And you talked about the running. That's an element we don't expect from him. And the same can be said for the opposing defenses that are facing off against C.J. Stroud. But if he can just implement that in getting down, because we saw that in today's matchup, and every run that he made was huge in their efforts in getting into scoring range and, most importantly, scoring, especially in the second half.
C.J. Stroud becoming the first ever top 3 pick to win a playoff game in each of his first 2 seasons. So getting results and hopeful to now do something in a divisional round. We look at that run game by C.J. Stroud. It was additive, but yes, maybe we're looking past the real run game, that being Joe Mixon, who showed up in this second half. And yes, easier to commit to the run game and play calling if you are leading in a second half, but a $121 net rushing yardage for Houston in the second half, 47 in the first half. That recommittal to the run, where'd you see the greatest adjustment that made it that effective in the second half?
Well, the offensive linemen, they did a great job in leaning on the line from the Chargers, because you talked about the running game not really being effective in the first half. The offensive line did a better job. And Joe Mixon is a guy, all he needs is a crease. And I can tell you this much, guys, Joe Mixon is a vet. He's been in the league for quite some time. But if I didn't know any better, I felt like Joe Mixon was in his rookie year. He looks fresh. He looks energized. He has the burst that he needs. And he loves to lean on defenders. And that's what we saw. Joe Mixon is one of the best closers at the running back position in terms of needing to close a ball game with running the football. That's what he does, and that's what he provided today. And I talked about the Texans missing some key contributors in the offensive side of things. There lies an opportunity for Joe Mixon to do more, because if you don't have Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, opportunities are there. Joe Mixon took advantage of those said opportunities in the running game.
This is what did today mean for season. You fill in a name at the end of that sentence and you try and learn something, whether it's winner or loser. I'm sort of mulling my head around what did today mean for Justin Herbert, because it's a 4-interception day. It's disappointing. You're still waiting on your first playoff win, Ryan. But I don't know how much you put in the lap of Justin Herbert here, who really all season long executed at a high level in the absence of maybe some top-tier playmakers around him. What did today mean for Justin Herbert in your eyes?
Well, it ain't great. I'm sure it's going to be a long flight back. I give him a C-plus performance. But listen, think about it this way. They started that very first drive of the game moving the ball like it was 7-on-7. Then they couldn't convert a 3rd and 1. That wasn't Justin Herbert's fault. The second series, they get down. He gets a sack on 2nd and 19, hits Will Dissly in the hands for what would have been a first down deep in their own territory. Dissly drops it. Dissly comes back and later drops the ball that ends up being an interception. So they have to settle for 6 points in those first 2 drives. And then at the end of the first half, the Texans score. The Chargers go 3 now. The Texans score again to get 10 points, going the halftime up the lead, and Justin Herbert 1 for 9 to end that first half. Although it is to say he didn't play well, but outside of Ladd McConkey, I would like to know who helped him out, because the offensive line was in disarray after the first 20, 30 minutes of that football game, and then it was sort of trying to survive and keep your head above water down the stretch. And by the end, Justin Herbert and the Chargers drowned metaphorically in that game, because the way that the Texans got after it in the second half, I don't know if they were going to have a chance to come back with all the mistakes mistakes that they kept making. Justin Herbert threw 3 interceptions the whole season, as you mentioned, Joe. The last time he threw one on the road was week 2. So he went 4 strong, if you will, in Houston in a game that he would probably already like to forget.
In terms of Justin Herbert, individually speaking, we know he's ultra talented, but he's nowhere close to being in that neighborhood of some of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And because of how talented he is, naysayers, we're quick to put him in that cul-de-sac. No, he's not actually in the gated community. He's on the outside looking in. Because to your point, you look at the playmakers around him or the lack thereof. When you're that guy at the quarterback position, you make those guys look better than what they actually are. Prime example, Josh Allen. That was a concern in terms of what this pass-catching position would look like for them in Buffalo. He made sweet tea with no sugar. I don't know how, but he was able to do so because he is him. He's an elite player at the quarterback position. Justin Herbert is not there yet, and that's okay. That's okay. You have to take time. And this is, once again, a learning experience. And to your point, he had the worst game of his career, not career, of the season today. And that's the last thing we will remember about Justin Herbert. Now, all 4 interceptions were not his fault. But if you didn't really watch the game and you look at the box score, you see 4 interceptions. The first thing you said was he laid down, right?
That's the first thing I see. The second thing I see in the box score on that side is 242 passing yards, a $197 to Ladd McConkey. Due respect to Ladd McConkey, who had an amazing season. But so much of your production going to one receiver, whoever that might be, you're sort of playing from behind the 8 ball.
And what did I say during the halftime show? This is a team that lacks talent, especially at the pass-catching position. But they were able to be in the playoffs because they're well coached. But when you're playing in playoff football, you have to have talent as well because usually the team you're playing against, they're well coached. Also, outside of Ladd McConkey, they have no reliable pass catcher. They have no pass catcher that you actually got to devote extra attention to. And what we saw in coverage, Lassiter, Derek Stingley, those guys did whatever they wanted to do. They never felt threatened. And to your point, Ladd got off. He'd made some things happen, but they never felt like they were threatened. You look at how aggressive the defenders were in the secondary for the Houston Texans. And that's an issue for the Chargers. And I'll say this. I know this season it's over. It just happened maybe 30 minutes ago. But they need to start looking towards next season right now. And you need to give T. Higgins whatever it is he wants. Because you
and everybody else.
Yes, and I know everybody else. But you need to tell T. Higgins we got a quarterback, we got a wide receiver 2 that will be a 2 next to you because you're a 1. Give him a blank check and get him out there because if you have any aspirations of doing more in postseason play, you got to find pass catchers because Quentin Johnson right now, he's not living up to the first-round billing that he was selected with years ago. They need more playmakers, Joe.
You look past today, or you look backwards from today. And I really think you can only look at this season as a success for the Chargers. Obviously, you want more once you make it to the playoffs, but first year, the new head man, you take one of the worst defenses in the league and make it one of the best. You play clean football until the final moments, but it ends here at the hands of Houston. The Chargers falling short by all measures here on Saturday. All right, look here at 20-point victories in a wild card round in back-to-back seasons. Hasn't been done since the 05-06 campaigns by the Pats. The Texans here, not just coming away with the win, but putting their foot down in the 4th. 9 times in the regular season. Second fewest in the NFL. Protect the football, run the football, win football game. The formula? Not that on Saturday. Herbert, responsible for 4 interceptions, Stingley 2 of them, 70 return yards on those 2 INTs.
Down and you can't turn over the ball like that and expect to win and put the team into a tough position there with 4 turnovers like that. So, you know, the defense hung tough. They got some turnovers. They gave us opportunities, but I just have to be better.
You've been so good this season at protecting the ball. You only had 3 interceptions all year. Did something change for you tonight and all in terms of how you're playing, how you're seeing the field, anything like that?
Nope. You know, it's just on me to protect the ball and be better about that. You know, it was aggressive downfield, and you got to do a better job of getting the ball out, throwing it away, or better ball placement. So that's on me.
What do you see on that ball? Like you intended for Quentin, but it got picked off early in the game. What do you see on that one? When you're kind of like throwing to your right, and you throw back to your left.
Yep, just kind of like I just said. You know, got to be better about that. Throw the ball away. Throw it further. Got to do a better job of not putting it in harm's way.
And then the throw to Ladd just lost it a little bit high, or was there more to that there?
Nope. Yeah, that's on me to make a better throw, and like I said, I got to do a better job of protecting the ball, and can't expect to win games when we turn over the ball like that, and especially throwing interceptions like that.
Coach Herbert just said that the edge pressure from Houston was the toughest you guys faced all year. Do you think that's an accurate assessment?
Yeah, I think they did a good job. It's on us to be able to execute and handle that, and I think it did a poor job handling the pressure, and I got to find the quick outs, throw the ball away, do a better job protecting the ball.
The corners also had a fair amount of success outside the picks themselves. Is that kind of what you saw on tape? Is that a talented group in your estimation?
I think it's on us to execute. I turned the ball over, and that's on us, and that's on me. And I got to do a better job. I thought the guys outside did a great job fighting, getting open, and it's on me as a quarterback to be able to deliver the ball.
The 4th and 2, Justin, that we threw to Quentin sort of in the flat. Just what'd you see on that play?
Yep, he was the only guy that I could see there, and we got to do a better job of getting the ball out and getting to a position where we can convert on that. It's a play that we practiced. We thought it was going to work, and we didn't execute.
Was he the first read on the play?
He was.
And so were you expecting him to have a little more depth on the route?
No, I'd have to take a look at that. I think it was 4th and short. We thought we could get him with a route like that. Key's been good with those routes, and it didn't go our way.
The way Ladd played today, 197 yards to playoff rookie record, just obviously not what you want in terms of result, but what can you say about the way that he played today?
Yeah, he just finds a way to make plays, and he's done such a great job competing all year, and we're a better team with him, and unfortunate the way it went, but he's a true ball player, and incredible to watch him play today.
Obviously this one's gonna sting, but the way things sort of turned around this year, getting to 11 wins, getting in the playoffs, does it feel for you like organizationally you guys are headed in the right direction here with Jim and everybody?
Yeah, I think they've done a good job. They're definitely in the right track going forward, and it didn't show today, and it's the horrible thing about football, and everyone feels terrible. No one feels worse than I do, and we have complete trust in Coach Herbert, and he's going to get the team right.
What do you think it's going to take for you to get over the hump in the postseason?
We'll just have to keep watching film and assess the play. And obviously, it was not good enough by any standards today. And I put the team into a jeopardy, tough position with all those turnovers, and so it's on me to get better and keep pushing forward.
How about what can you say about how the defense played, the turnovers they forced, sort of getting the ball back to you guys through the first half and early in the second?
Yeah, they've been good all year. They've done such a great job of limiting those touchdowns, and they've forced a bunch of turnovers, and they've done such a great job of just getting us the ball back, and that's on us as an offense and me as a quarterback to be able to execute when we get those opportunities.
All right, Coach Harbaugh, he knows how to get things turned around, and he did that with LA this season. Often, in a first playoff game, finds a way to win as well. But you see Justin Herbert there in the LA Fire Department hat. You got to understand some extenuating circumstances touching likely all parts of this Charger franchise.
They really disrupted the Chargers offense, accounting for a couple of sacks, multiple tackles for loss. Can you talk about how their ability to create pressure impacted Justin Herbert's and the offensive rhythm and overall effectiveness throughout the game?
Playing playoff football, first thing first, you have to stop the run. And that's where our interior defensive linemen really played great today at stopping the run. Right? You stop the run, you force teams to have to throw the ball, and that's why our entire D-line, they cut it loose, and they really got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. As every guy from Will, Danico, everybody, Mario with a sack, all across the board, those guys were rushing together. They were disciplined with their rush lanes. Everybody did a great job of keeping Herbert in the pocket, and they were able to get him down several times.
Separate, but D'Amico, two separate but related questions. What are you thinking during that sequence when CJ fumbles, picks it up, and throws it to Xavier? And then second, in what way did you feel it give you all a spark?
Yeah, offensively, we started slow. Right? We started slow. We put the ball on the ground too many times, and we needed a play. And that's what it looks like when your best players step up and make the plays. That's what playoff football is about. That's what, being a big-time player in the league is about. And, of course, you see the fumble snap, and I'm just thinking, like, please pick the ball up. And then we're able to, to see CJ improvise and find Hutch, keeping his eyes downfield, just having that confidence in himself and his ability to avoid the rush and still keep his eyes downfield and find Hutch. And that was an outstanding play. To me, that was the play of the game that really, created momentum for our entire team.
You guys intercepted Justin Herbert 4 times, sacked him a bunch of times, pressured him on 50% of his dropbacks. How would you describe how your defense played today?
Our defense, they dominated today, and that's who we want to be. They played our brand of football. Like, talk about stopping the run first. That's what I'm most proud of, is how we stop the run. And we stop the run, you make teams one-dimensional, and that's when our D-line just caused havoc. So we're very proud of our defensive line, but more so proud of our DBs like Stingley, and he's been outstanding all year. He steps up again for us today, gets 2 picks. When we needed him most, he made outstanding plays. E. Murray with the touchdown. Kamari with for us to have off of the turnover, Kamari goes out, and you talk about a momentum shift. For him to pick the ball off, that was an outstanding play by him. So just the way our DBs are playing, it just opens up a lot for us defensively. Really proud of our entire group.
Hey, D'Amico, can you talk a little bit about kind of 2 things with the offense? The play that when CJ scrambled, it seemed like to him that opened something up, and we saw him seem more comfortable. And can you talk about just the adjustments that Bobby made on the offense today?
Yeah, the scramble play was, you see that confidence from CJ. You see he felt like the need to make a play, and he did. That's what I call you put the team on your back. And that's what he did. He put the team on his back, and to see our sideline just go crazy when he makes that scramble, you can feel it then. You can feel the game shifting at that moment when he makes that scramble for the big play. And just offensively, for us to be able to buckle down when we needed it most, for us to control the line of scrimmage and run the football like we needed to run the football, like that's what I'm proud of. Our offensive line stepped up. They got their hats in the right place. They were grinding. Like, that's a tough front. Right, that's a tough defense. Like, the defense did an outstanding job, all year. Did a great job today. It was tough to run against them, but we were persistent, and Joe did a really nice job of making some plays.
D'Amico, before the game was underway, Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs were here. You had a special moment with them. What did it mean to have them back inside the building, and do you think that kind of ignited the team to have a bit of a stronger performance knowing that they were on the sidelines watching?
Yeah, seeing Tank and Steph out there, it's encouraging and uplifting for everybody on our team. We know how much both of those guys meant to our team, just the leaders that they are in their own way, and how much energy they provide to our entire team. So, it's great seeing them. I think put smiles on everyone's faces, understand like who we're doing it for. Like, we're doing it for our brothers, and it was great to see them today. Would love to have them on the field, but just to know that they're here still supporting, through all that they've gone through, just continues to show how special our team is.
D'Amico, can you talk about that your longest offensive drive of this whole season happened in this game? In fact, get you back in, 99 yards. Obviously, if you could go farther, you would, but 13 plays, and basically that was, to me, sort of like the catalyst to start turning the momentum around, because that's when you took the lead. Can you explain that and what it was like just to get that whole drive out of the way and get it out of your soul?
I'll start with not only that drive, but just how we were sputtering along to start. And I just loved the way, our team just responded. Our offense responded, how resilient they were. A lot of bad things happened. Like, we fumbled the ball, but no one panicked. Like, everybody just kept playing. Like, even though we put the ball on the ground several times, nobody panicked on the entire team. And then when you need it most, like, our offense needs to step up and get something going for us, and to have a 99-yard drive, it's outstanding by everyone. And so we want to see from our offense just throughout the entire year. We know it's been some inconsistencies, but to see everybody put it together when we need it most here in our first game of the playoffs, and couldn't be, again, more happy for everybody, and just where we can continue to ascend if we do things the proper way.
Hey, D'Amico, I remember hearing you earlier in the week describe your D-line versus their O-line as the matchup of the game. Did you specifically challenge them to that? And then sort of similarly on top of that, you mentioned your best players playing their best. Will Anderson Jr. sack and a half, Derek Stingley 2 interceptions. Do you similarly challenge them to rise to the occasion the way they did?
You know, the unique thing about our team, our defense, is I don't have to challenge those guys at all. Like, they understand the moment. They understand, like, why we're built the way we're built. We're built the way we're built, so our D-line has to go dominate. And when our D-line plays this way, not only does it help our defense, but it just brings enthusiasm to our entire team. So they understand that from the moment they signed up to play here for the Texans. Like, we're heavily dependent upon our D-line, and they did an outstanding job today.
Take 3 more.
You want to make some noise in the playoffs? You better have a coach, you better have a quarterback. Houston, they got both. Freshman year, a win in the playoffs. Sophomore year, knock off another. They will now look to do something no Houston Texan team has done.
Lại với kênh của mình, ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn tô tượng. Và tượng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là dây đi át. Mọi người, hôm nay tượng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là ống nhòm. Mọi người, hôm nay tượng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là kính hiển vi. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu nhé. Tím màu tím đi, giờ là màu tím đi. Dẫu chỉ là sáng mai sẽ ngược lại với con đường nghe màu tím của mình này, màu tím đây nhé. Sau màu tím là màu hồng. Mọi người đây, mình ăn tô màu xanh.